Hello there, ChickChatters. We're back
Hey.
with Gypsy. We haven't talked about her in a minute. I did a little deep dive about some of the drama that's been going on. Sorry, that's my dog. Check that out if you haven't. But we're going to talk about the trailer that dropped for the new season because new season premieres in March, and we're going to be here to discuss.
So excited.
I know. There's a couple things in the trailer, though, that we want to touch on, but we won't be here long, but it is interesting. And then I got my own little pixie here trying to bother me, so you might see him on the side. His name is Jago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the trailer pretty much starts off with a little crash course in law with Miss Jip Jip, as she likes to tell us what Louisiana law is.
Which I guess, but we've all been talking about all of this for so long. It almost feels like this trailer is just a confirmation of all the rumors that have been going on online. So I always have a hard time believing rumors. I need to hear at least a couple different sources of rumors to really believe it. But this is certainly a validation of everyone who's been talking about the drama.
Yeah.
Because it's very plainly said here.
Yeah.
The law.
The law.
Also everyone's opinions within the family about the marriage, potentially the baby, all of that, the divorce. It's going to be a spicy one. Buckle up, as Krusty likes to say.
Krusty. Well, as Gypsy says that she's being viewed as a loose woman and a hoe. I don't know why that she's using these, but
these are pretty loose woman. That's like a 1960s term. I bet you that's something her mom said.
I bet, Gypsy's so old school. Remember when she was trying to make fat Chapin again?
Yeah.
Gypsy's like a 50-year-old woman in a 30-year-old woman's body.
I know. And yet she's also only 12. So it's just crazy.
You know how you've always been saying that Gypsy lives 50 lives in one day? Well, she says that as much. She said she's lived 10 years in one.
Yep, she says that right here in this trailer. So we all agree, Gypsy. We are watching the many lives. That's what this should be called.
In different age ranges of Gypsy Rose. So they talk about the DNA test. They say that the DNA test is for Ryan, so it makes me wonder how much Ryan might have been harassing them about the paternity, which means Ryan really believed at one point that he might have been the father. And he said in a TikTok a few months ago that he never questioned the DNA of the child. But I don't know. If I was Ryan, I would question it. I mean, especially now.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I would be asking lots of questions, especially legally, he's liable. I know she's got her own story about, oh, this is just to get him out of our lives, but she also just got done explaining to all of us if they don't have paternity established that is not Ryan, then Ryan is liable for child support and all kinds of things. He's the parent to this child, assumed parent.
Right.
He doesn't have to be there to sign the birth certificate if he's an assumed parent, I would assume. So I would want that to be established as well, whether it's through my DNA if I were Ryan or through Chad's DNA or whatever.
But Gypsy is telling us that the reason why she is filming this season, even though she said she wouldn't film, she was done filming now that she was pregnant or whatever. She didn't want her kid on TV. She's got something to prove to us, which I'm like, Gypsy, either way, you ain't got nothing to prove exactly because people are going to think what they think about you at this point regardless. You're not changing people's minds by just showing us all this crap. It's not showing us that you're you're not even showing us you with the child. Like, you being pregnant isn't you showing me you're a great mom. I've seen a lot of drug addicts be able to clean their act up for their pregnancy and then be terrible moms after that. You're not proving me nothing.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just sad to me that if that's really what's going on, that she thinks she has something to prove to the public, especially because she's been telling us this whole lie at this point, in my opinion, about how she doesn't want her child to be in the spotlight. And I guess she's not going to film after she has this baby. But what is the difference between you going on television and having this whole question about the paternity and telling us what the law is and how you're all caught up in between all of this because of the situation that you put yourself in? What is that any different when it's about the baby anyways? This baby still has all kinds of questions and drama and conspiracies around it, isn't that what you're trying to protect the baby from? If you really were doing that, just go away quietly and people will stop talking about you. But now you want to have this whole pregnancy season. That's your fault.
Your fault. I mean, I can't help but think anyways, it's got to be about money because Gypsy's not working. She's not driving yet. I hear she's in driver's ed and stuff, but Gypsy's not trying to actually go out there and get herself like a job, a gerb. No one took her gerb or anything. She's just out here doing another season because, I mean, it's going to pay her. Don't gaslight me, Gypsy. You don't got nothing to prove. Like I said, people are going to think what they think already. And yeah, it's no different than just showing us your baby. You might as well just show us your baby at this point. You're still in the spotlight unless you're going to stop with your book and all that. You're throwing yourself out there. If you stopped doing that, people would stop talking about you, like you said. There's many people who've been convicted of crimes that once they're done with their sentences and stuff, you don't hear about them anymore. So this is a choice that you're making to keep this going.
Yeah, totally.
And of course, Lifetime or whatever network is going to eat it up because it's drama. It's helping them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, here we are right in the trailer, ready to talk about it, and there's still 2 months until the season. So yes, all of this stuff works. I'm definitely here to watch it. But
and name another Lifetime show that we're here talking about.
Right. I'm here to give my opinion as well. But we also see that they're going to find themselves in some couples therapy.
Yeah. I find that interesting. Although Ken's like, I don't know why we'd be going to couples therapy or whatever. I don't know. Gypsy needs to be in all types of therapy. But either way, you don't have to go into couples therapy when it's bad. It might just be good for them to do anyways, especially because it seems like Gypsy is so concerned about Ken and how all this could be affecting Ken. And I think she's just terrified this man's going to leave her again. So,
right. I think there's a lot of reasons for them to be in therapy, and not all of it even has to do with Gypsy. They're in the spotlight, and nobody has anything nice to say about them. It's got to be really hard to be them.
Then they talk about the divorce. Ryan must have texted her about the divorce papers being ready to sign. And Ken's just like, oh, good. And then he asks about possibly getting married before the baby is born. We all know now that the divorce proceedings went into December, so they're not married before the baby is born. Yeah, I don't know. Is Ken trying to prove something?
Like, that's what I was saying. Like, I wonder if that's important to him all of a sudden for some reason.
Y'all have a second season because Ken's got something to prove? I'm curious. Anyways, they show us Krusty for a second, giving Gypsy an ultrasound at home. That's basically going to be their nanny, I think, is Krusty. Yeah. Krusty the nanny.
Krusty and Mia whenever she decides she wants to play nurse with the baby.
There's going to be some issues with her PO and people reporting her for stuff. So we're going to see some officers come through and whatever. Yeah, hopefully it's not Mr. Missouri.
I think a lot of this validates a lot of the rumors that we've been seeing as well, because a lot of people have been talking about police officers being at the house and some conflict obviously going on within parole and things like that. And eventually Gypsy brings up the idea of just wanting to be able to have her baby in the freedom and in the outside world. So I wonder if she really was starting to get to the point where she's really getting in trouble. I know you can violate really quite a bit without having to necessarily go back to prison, but it seems like there's a point here where she's a little concerned about that.
Did you see that some people are wondering if her baby is actually her lawyer's baby?
No, I did not.
I died. I don't believe that for a second because this man is married and conflict of interest and all types of crap. And why?
Really funny.
But
that's really funny.
I have seen that a little bit.
But I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. Y'all are funny though.
Oh my Lord.
So he says in there that y'all wanted her to get her tubes tied.
I think that is wild. Anyone who says that, that's just, I'm sorry, that's a little bit too much. I know you guys have opinions, and I'm not mad at people who hate Gypsy and think she shouldn't be out in the free world, but even people who are not in the free world have rights to their own bodies and things like that. Are you going to tie someone's tubes while they're on parole and then untie them? That's not how this works.
Well, and then Britney Spears too. Remember when she was in her conservatorship? People made a big deal about the fact that people were forcing her to be on birth control and stuff. Like, we can't be like, yay, women's reproductive rights, and then try to suppress certain women. I mean, what she did to her mom was horrible, and that's something she's going to have to explain to her child for sure.
Yeah, she has to live with that every day, and I don't feel bad for that at all. That's what happens when you take someone's life.
Yeah, and I got a cousin that be popping out kids left and right that can't take care of them, living in a car, all types of stuff, and no one's taking her rights away, and they should, but but you can't, like, how do you? What's the criteria?
That's not a thing. That's just outlandish.
Yeah, so I'm a little on the fence with that. Although I do agree that she should not be having a child right now. I think she should have really figured herself out before doing anything like that. I think she needed a lot of intensive therapy, a few reality checks. I don't know. It's hard because like Gypsy, it's so hard to believe a lot of what she says. So I'm very interested to see the rest of the season. When she was on that couple's couch and she was crying about feeling guilty, I really thought she was going to bring up her mom, but she was just feeling guilty about Ken.
I know. I thought that she was too, but well, I guess
whatever. I'm kind of curious in this season if we will hear a little bit more about Dee Dee now that Gypsy is pregnant. I wonder if she's going to have a few moments where she's like,
How can you not? I mean, if you're not truly a psychopath, I think you have to probably have some of those moments. I don't know if she'll have them on camera, but I think it'd be good for the public to see, even though I know a handful of people, more than half, wouldn't even believe it if they saw it.
I know.
But I might be interested.
I'm curious to see how the season goes down. I would actually almost bet there will be a season 3. I don't really believe that Gypsy's going to keep her baby out of the spotlight for very long. She might do it for a few months to a year or whatever, but I think she's going to need that check, and I think she's going to be coming back to Lifetime. I don't see Gypsy doing anything else but exploiting her life.
Yep, I completely agree. I think we'll be watching Gypsy for quite a while and hopefully covering her for quite a while too.
And as usual, we're trying to keep our opinions and all that of the crime out of this stuff because, yeah, there's so much to go into with that. So much
of video would be 75 million minutes long if we got into all of that. So we're just reacting to the show, to her here and now, to her current life, but we are aware of her past life, and we're just staying away from that the best that we can.
I have very similar opinions sometimes of the crime like you guys, actually, and you might not realize that, but it's because like we're talking about our show, we're trying to play the fence a little bit, we're trying to have fun, be funny, maybe poke a few jokes here and there, because everybody else is just so serious.
Yeah, and honestly, what happened is very serious, and it's not funny, and it's not okay, and it doesn't feel good to laugh and entertain yourselves around that. But what's going on now is mildly entertaining. It's a reality show, and we're going to treat it as such and react to those things. So if you're interested in that, having a little giggle, sharing, varying opinions and things like that, then let us know.
And we're going to treat Gypsy pretty much how we treat sister wives and all other people. If we got a criticism, we will say it. If she says something that makes sense, we will say that. But yeah, we're just going to treat her like everybody else right now.
Yes.
Oh, and thank you, Chick Chat. We will catch you in March when Gypsy premieres. In the meantime, we have Sister Wives. We have Stories of the Week. If you want us to maybe dabble in anything else, let us know in the comments. We also have Teen Mom coming up too again. So
yeah, and this is the big season. This is where Bentley's going to be 16. I think Leah's going to be 16. And Jace turning 16.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing if, MTV really has been dragging us around all these years just to get to these kids.
We'll see what happens. I wish them all the brightest futures, but I know MTV has ulterior motives and
they have some ideas.
They have some thoughts. If this is your first time seeing us and you want to see us cover Gypsy and all the other shows that we just mentioned, please subscribe so that you're ready to go when the season starts. And comment, let us know how you feel about the upcoming season. And we'll see you then.
We'll see you with Gyp learning about Louisiana law.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.